Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, I might have done an episode like this before where I talked on being a wrestling fan, but if I haven't, here I am talking on being a wrestling fan. Now, I just sat down and watched this video of Stone Cold Steve Austin going in on this guy. I think it was for that TV show Tough Enough, where they got like, it's kind of like a reality TV show, but at the same time, it's like, it's people like going through with like being a wrestler and stuff. So he's going in on this guy. This guy is crying his eyes out. Like, well, it wasn't like a baby cry, but it was like tears were rolling down his face. He was getting angry. He looked like he wanted to swing on Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm like, that would have been a mistake. Don't do that. Like, just because you think. My thing is this. I feel like a lot of people, there are some wrestling fans out there, and you'll see it like, every once in a while, where they think that they can challenge the wrestler to a fight. And it's like, fam, you got to understand. Now, imagine going into a McDonald's and you go and challenge somebody to like a burger cooking contest, or, cooking fries, or even some other stuff where it's like, or a comedian, a stand-up comedian, where you think you could get up on stage and outshine them. It's like, what you have to understand is that these guys go just because you think you watch a lot of it. And that's the thing where it's like, I watch a lot of wrestling. At one point in time, I thought I can be a wrestler. But when you see all the stuff that they got to go through and the sacrifices that they have to make, you at some point in time realize maybe that life isn't for me. Maybe if I, built the time for it, or build up to it, or, did like a guest appearance, then okay, cool. But until then, I'm like, I'm doing what I can do at this point in given time, but I'm not going to take away the respect that I have for wrestling. So that's why it always trips me out. Like when there's those one fans where they think that they can like outshine a wrestler or fight a wrestler, and they jumping on like over barriers or trying to challenge them to a fight. Like there's the one video that I'll never forget was when a guy, and I think Big Show, I think he said that was a nice sized dude. Like I think he said that guy was like 6'11" or something like that. So he was a nice sized dude, but he thought he can challenge Big Show to a fight. Now, the thing is, I feel like what a lot of these guys, don't understand about wrestlers is that it's not like these guys are just going out there and, they're just like, they're just entertainers. They can do like some like acrobatic stuff and backflips and take a fake hit and all that. Like they think that these guys are like feathers pretty much, right? No, they're not. They are real people just like us. So I'm pretty sure. And the thing is this, like you can see for yourself, like when wrestlers, when they take like bumps, like when they like take a knee to the face or a fist or whatever, like you see what damage it can do. Like there was the one where wasn't it Seth Rollins that did that to John Cena, where he accidentally like kneed him in the face but just broke his nose, bruh. Or even when Nia Jax, when she punched Becky Lynch in the face, and I think didn't she give her a concussion? I'm saying these aren't like just look, it could be all the way from like the smallest wrestlers all the way to the biggest wrestlers. These guys know how to fight. Okay, they're not just out there just, taking like fake hits and stuff. No, these guys actually know how to fight, all right? So it's not like they're going to be, because if that was the case, if they didn't know how to fight, then you wouldn't see the wrestling part of wrestling. You would just only see the entertainment part where they're cutting promos and all this other stuff. But so anyways, this dude approaches Big Show at some bar, starts trying to challenge him. And you can see, like, this guy is having no effect on Big Show. I mean, well, he did kind of, but he's just not doing anything to intimidate Big Show. And I feel like Big Show only did this to teach this guy a lesson. But so anyways, you see where he pushes Big Show. That was his mistake right there. You don't, and this was like this. I mean, even I feel like Big Show now, like him, being a little bit older and stuff. I still feel like he can throw hands. I still feel like he could defend himself if it comes down to it. But so, anyways, this is like, young Big Show. This is like Big Show that was he was like a full-time wrestler and stuff, right? So, anyways. Guy pushes Big Show. Big Show just gives this man like a jab, like just a straight jab to his jaw. I think he broke the man's jaw. I think from what I remember, I read and watched the video about it, he broke the man's jaw. And that was one person where I'm like, okay, if I'm going to challenge somebody to a fight, I'm going to challenge maybe a wrestler roughly the same size as me, And this guy, I mean, yeah, he was up there maybe in height when it comes to like, looking Big Show like in his face and things. But other than that, like, or more so like not with my same size, but somebody with like the same skill level. So I know it'll be like a fight where it's like, all right, it's a 50-50 chance. So it's a chance of me winning and a chance of this person or this wrestler winning. But I'm not going to go up against somebody that, I'm drunk, out of my mind, not paying, and now I got this hospital bill because, I want to be out here and challenge. And that was even the first, I don't even think, well, and it might have been the first time, but I don't know. But anyways, no, that was like one of the many times where people tried challenging Big Show. Okay, not any of the other wrestlers. I'm pretty sure other wrestlers, they get challenged and stuff. I've heard stories of other wrestlers getting challenged. But Big Show, on the other hand, it's like, why are you challenging this man? What has he done to you that you feel like you need to challenge him? So there is another occasion where a guy tried to sucker punch Big Show. And Big Show, like, even though, because I think there's like, he's 7 feet tall, and I think he was like 400 pounds. But it ain't like he's like 500 pounds of like, like fat. Like, no, this man works out. He is athletic, okay? Yeah, he might be a larger individual, but overall, this man works out, okay? He is the Big Show. So, anyways, the guy goes, sucker punches Big Show, runs all the way to his Jeep. And they ended up having it as a segment on wrestling where he flipped the man's Jeep over. It was I think it was like a lifted Wrangler. And yeah, he flipped it on its side. And I'm like, that's not normal, So like, that's why I'm like, man, it trips me out when they do stuff like that. And I'm like, fam, stop. Let these people be. Like, imagine going to your job, right? And you have somebody attacking you just because of who you are. And it's like, I can somewhat relate, but it's only like with like verbal attacks, And yeah, these wrestlers, I've heard where they've been even verbally attacked, where it's like, you'd see stuff on social media where it's like, and the thing is that, there's these wrestlers out there. There's at times where I'm like, there's wrestlers on TV where they're not doing so hot. Like there's the one, Eva Marie, I believe, where she's, the thing is like, I don't want to say that she's a bad wrestler, but at the same time, it's like, I hadn't really seen much of her. So that's why I'm like, I can't really have like an opinion on who she is, because maybe behind the scenes, and then when she gets out in public, or when she's actually having like a match, like in front of people, like she might have like stage fright, or she's just nervous or whatever. I don't know. But overall though, it's like, yeah, that's somebody where I see she gets dragged in the wrestling community. And yeah, it's like, you'll see like those wrestlers too, where it's like they're not so good. Like for an example, there's the one named Ryback. And that guy, now the reason why I had to say that I don't particularly care for him ever wrestling again is because he has said some things that, I'm like, bruh, I don't care how much you hate that person. You don't ever disrespect them like that. And don't ever think in life you're going to have anything good happen to you when you're out here being disrespectful to people online. So anyways, Ryback, so he was entertaining at one point in time. I have to say, when he had his little thing going on with WWE, yeah, he was entertaining. He had like the whole like feed me more, being this like monstrous, machine wrestler, right? But so anyways, at some point in time, he ends up leaving. And then he's just on social media, just trash talking people as much as he possibly can. But then he thinks he's going to go out and get himself another wrestling contract. And it's like, sir, people are going to realize that you're toxic. And that's what I think with like wrestling is like there's those toxic wrestlers that don't even need to be in wrestling. It's like, no, you need some counseling and all this other extra stuff going on with you, but you do not need to be a wrestler right now, because at the end of the day, wrestling now, even though like it's, like I was saying, like these guys are, I don't know, like maybe I don't want people to take it the wrong way where it's like I'm making it seem like that wrestlers aren't entertaining. They are entertaining. That's literally the whole reason of professional wrestling on TV, is to entertain people, right? So I feel like that's the number one thing that you should have, like when it like, or the one thing that you should bring to wrestling is entertaining people. Now, if you're gonna be out here trash talking people and you think that that's only entertaining toxic people. So if the thing is this, with Ryback, any of his followers is most likely people that is also toxic like him, or it's just people that just overall want to see the dumb stuff that this man tweets because it's entertaining. So it's going to entertain like, certain groups of people and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like you, as a wrestler that has a following, you should be setting a better example. You should definitely 100% be setting a better example. Now, at the end of the day, with social media, you're free to say whatever you want. You're free to do whatever you want, but be prepared for some consequences, right? So that's why I'm like, I try to tell people that, even outside of like on this, where it's like now just sitting down talking with people, if you have a following, bro, teach them the right things in life. Don't teach them some stuff that they don't need to know. But so anyways, so Vince McMahon, I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Vince McMahon is. All right, so maybe if you're not a wrestling fan, but you just like hearing my podcast episode, so Vince McMahon, he's like the Bill Gates of wrestling, like he's up there. He's probably, out of all the wrestling industries and names and all that stuff, Vince McMahon is without doubt one of the most famous names in wrestling. Like, if you see how this man was working, like back in the day when he was like really active with wrestling, oh my God, I wish I was a wrestling fan back then, because it just seemed like back then, like wrestling, it was amazing, So anyways, but Vince McMahon, at some point in time, his mom had passed away. Why did Ryback feel like he needed to say anything regarding Vince McMahon's mom? Like, who are you to feel like you need to talk on somebody else's mom just because you might have issues growing up, like, with your parents or whatever the situation is? But Ryback comes off as somebody that was like extremely privileged and spoiled growing up, or he felt like he deserved, or if not that, if it wasn't that, he felt like because he didn't have nothing growing up that he deserves stuff now. And he puts himself on this like toxic platform feeling like that, oh, I can say whatever or do whatever because I'm deserving of it, bruh. Like, and this is the main reason why he's not in wrestling today. It was funny because he does this tweet, right? Asking like a poll, like, or like he created a poll and he was all like, which wrestling, brand should I go to? Back to WWE, AEW, Impact, all these other different things. And then he had at the very bottom where I think it was like, should I retire? And sure enough, everybody was voting in retire, because you are not cut out to be a wrestler, okay? You're not cut out to be on TV, none of that stuff, because you're toxic. It's like nobody doesn't want to see that. I guarantee and I promise you, if Ryback were to get on the wrestling today, he would get booed. It's either he would get booed or people wouldn't know who he is. And they're like, bruh, why are you here? Like, we don't want to see you. We want to see other people. Now, I'm not trying to say that in a disrespectful way, but at the same time, it's like when you're being disrespectful, expect to be disrespected back from fans, from Vince McMahon, from anybody. So that's why I'm like, with somebody like Ryback, he's not gonna last in WWE. We're just in wrestling and stuff. But overall, though, then you got like with wrestlers where they, like I get back on people like Eva Marie, where it's like they might be a little bit shy, maybe, or if they are bad at wrestling and stuff, I do feel like that sometimes they may go. There's two routes I feel like that they'll go down. It's like, okay, well, I gotta practice, become better, become a, more entertaining wrestler and all that stuff. Or they're all like, well, I'm just gonna capitalize off of my name, do all these guest appearances and all this other random stuff, build my social media following up, and then, yeah, just, overall just do some like random stuff. But overall, though, I feel like if you go down the route where you want to be a better wrestler, I don't see how your career can go down the drain if you're doing that. So, for an example, Dominic Mysterio. I feel like when he started off, nobody didn't like him. Nobody did not like him because they were like, and then now like he's playing this villainous role where he's, going to his dad, trying to fight him, cracking jokes, all this stuff. And now I feel like people are starting to like him. He's starting to like crack jokes. He's starting to be funny. He's starting people are really starting to like this guy. And that's the one thing that I have to say that I like so much about wrestling is when you see how much a wrestler has climbed through the ranks to overall be a better wrestler and stuff. And I had to say probably the best example that I can use, Roman Reigns. Okay, this man, no, let's just talk on Roman Reigns real quick. Roman Reigns, when he very first emerged to the scene, probably people were just seeing him as another NXT wrestler. Then 2012 happens, Seth Rollins, and now his name is Dean Ambrose, but he goes by Jon Moxley now. He's not even a part of WWE, but overall though, when Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, when those guys formed the Shield and they were just going around just tearing up stuff, bruh, that was like one of the best tag teams that we had seen in recent time. Like there wasn't too many tag teams out there. Like you had New Day, you had the Usos, you had what are some other tag teams? I think there was like Tyler Breeze, and then there was another guy, but there's like some people in wrestling like in the tag team division where they were good. And so I feel like that Roman Reigns, he definitely lunged. Not lunge, but he was like a person that really did help improve the tag team division. Because I feel like at one point in time, like tag teams you'll see about a tag team like every blue moon, but it just seemed like at one point in time, like tag teams just kind of fell under. Like people wasn't really too focused on tag teams and stuff. So anyways, Roman Reigns, so he had his thing going on with the Shield. That was good. Then when the Shield broke up, it was like somewhat good, but then as the time progressed on, he was still like this mindset that he was in when after Shield had like ended and stuff. And people just wasn't really messing with him. They was all like, no, I don't like that. But I do feel like that, people behind the scenes seen that Roman Reigns had the potential of being one of the biggest names and biggest stars in wrestling. You cannot take that away from that man. So they seen it, and so they was like, okay, well, we just got to build up to it and stuff. So anyways, Roman Reigns eventually at some point in time disappears. Nobody knows where he went. All right. He comes back during the pandemic and he becomes the tribal chief Roman Reigns. He becomes this unstoppable force that and now everybody loves this man. And then now he has like this tag team, the Bloodline, and it's just, then he got Sami Zayn along with it. You cannot write a better ending to that story. And overall, like, the thing is, we don't know when it's going to end. That's the thing about it. You don't even know, like, and who knows? It's like, the thing is this. He may have this one thing going on. Who knows what may happen in the future? Let's say it's like he comes out with something better than Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Now, I know a lot of people may look at that and be all like, well, that's not going to be possible. Like, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, you can't top that. Maybe that might be the case, but I do feel like that Roman Reigns, like, this ain't, the end of it. Like, he's this tribal chief Roman Reigns, like, I feel like it's just gonna be one of the, like, how like when wrestlers, they just have like the many things that they go about with themselves, like, when it comes to characters and all that, like, you see it with like Booker T, you see it with Undertaker, John Cena. I do feel like that, if this is like the final mark of Roman Reigns' career where he's the tribal chief and all that stuff, then hey, it was like, bro, it was amazing. All right, it was probably one of the best storylines that I had to say that I've seen since I became a wrestling fan. And I became a wrestling fan kind of like late in the game and stuff. Like, I remember getting into it in 2007. And just, seeing like how much it has changed throughout the years, and the new faces and then the old faces that comes back. And then you see them having matches with new faces. Yeah, it's like with wrestling, being a fan, it's just, it's honestly, it's dope. It really is dope. And then like when you just overall see people like in wrestling, just, like not really like getting back on like the Rybacks And who else? Like, I want to name drop CM Punk, but at the same time, it's like you don't really know whether this man be playing around, joking, or what's the issue, what's the situation. Like, you'll see where sometimes those wrestlers kind of like, you know, they sell out like a bad like persona a little bit too much, and then you start believing them. And I'm like, bro, there's at times where I be believing in some of the stuff that wrestlers be saying. For an example, MJF, he's a part of AEW, and it's like, I don't know what that man got going on, but I like it. It's funny. I think it's one of the most dopest things. I think he's one of the most dopest faces in wrestling right now. So yeah, well faces, I mean, like, well, no, it's like, I think it's babyface, where it's like they say like that's a good wrestler than the bad wrestlers, but he's a bad wrestler. But overall though, like, he is entertaining. You cannot take that away from that man and stuff. So but anyways, yeah, I just think, right now, like, being a wrestling fan, I think it's pretty dope. Like, it's like, so if you guys haven't, go watch you some wrestling, whether it's WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan Wrestling. Then you got, just like you got all these other wrestling companies where they're just rising through the ranks and stuff. So yeah, it's a dope time to be a wrestling fan right now. So yeah, definitely. Is it worth being a wrestling fan in 2023? Oh yeah, definitely 100%. So, but anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching in or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 46 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss, and make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you are purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And make sure you use my promo code for Poggers energy drinks, TMossBoss, and it will knock 10% off of your next purchase. So, anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.